did you start the gallery with some, I don't know, personal mission, like some as like a counter to something, or like were you up? I don't know. I don't want to lead you.
Well, I opened the gallery in 2014. And as everyone knows, the Indian art market had gone through a terrible time in 2009.
Yeah.
And kind of the mission of the gallery was to actually give younger artists a serious place to show work. And this is why it's important to have more galleries, right? The more galleries there are, the more spaces there are that show younger artists' work.
Yeah.
Or show different artists' work, because there are more voices than there are galleries, and there need to be more galleries to kind of amplify the voices. At the same time, though, there are a lot of voices that do not need galleries for amplification, right? There are a lot of people who are practicing artists who are doing a fantastic job on their own, kind of amplifying what they are trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think also, as I said in the beginning, if someone is confident and able to do what I think I'm able to do, more power to them. And especially with things like social media, the fact that it's so easy to have your own website, all those things are now important in kind of pushing one's own career forward, which are very incredible.
But then my question to you is, generally, what are you bringing on the table over and above? Because you're now competing, you almost have a marketing tool like the website and this. Like, I want to just kind of go a little deeper, because if all this exists, then, because the bulk of the viewers on the channel and the people who listen to the podcast, they're super young. They just, they're the hopeless COVID batch that's trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
They didn't get a proper show.
I think we are all the hopeless COVID batch trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's true. That's true. We're all hustling in a way, and somewhere, they don't know whether they can do. See, that you're bang on. There are very few galleries, right? There are there are many more voices. So, what advice would you give to the younger upcoming art student who's not going to get a spot in your gallery? Or if they are sending the PDF, right? Like Indro sir said, stop sending 50 MB PDFs. So
I agree with Indro sir. Please, send me a link if you have a 50 MB PDF.
No.
Upload it to your Dropbox and send me a link to that. It's much easier to look at. But
do you do that? Do you? There are stories when I was in art school and I just got out. People were like, "Koi nahi dekhta tera CV. Koi kuch nahi dekhta." It's all.
No, we do. We look at the info email address. We keep a close eye on it. Actually, there's a photographer called Zishan Latif, who actually we did a show with again in our first year, who I met just because he walked into the gallery and he was like, "Hey, would you look at my work?" And I did, and it clicked.
Oh, nice. That happens, huh?
It does, and we do look at the work. What I would say is, if you're trying to get a gallery, if you're trying to get someone to show you, take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
But also be self-critical. Look at your own work, look at other people's work. Please be aware of what other people in the art world are doing. And now there's no excuse because everything is online. Don't tell me I live in you live in Goa. You can see all the shows in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Calcutta, wherever. You can see the show. I can see the shows in London from my sofa, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be aware of what's happening in the art world. I think you need to be aware of yourself and where your practice kind of fits in that art world.
Yeah.
And when you approach a gallerist, please don't send 8 gallerists an email on 2, so everyone can see who you've sent this email to. Dear ma'am, I really want to work with your gallery. I'm like, no, bro.
Yeah.
Take the time, find out which gallery works for you.
Yeah.
If you know an artist who works at that gallery, try and ask the artist, "Hey, do you think my work will work for your gallerist?"
What does that mean?
Because we have...
Can you explain that?
Well...
Will it work
yes,
for me? Will that point be...
So I think each gallerist kind of has a point of view and has a kind of way, a style of working and those kind of things, right? At the end of the day, these are very personal... working relationships, if that even makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, if I'm very type A.
What's type A? Okay.
I'm a very type A, I'm very particular about organizing things in a certain way, and I think that's one of the things that makes me good at my job. This doesn't mean all the artists we work with are very type A, but you have to be, that it's a certain kind of way of working where someone can be like, nahi, tera nahi jamega uske saath. Something as basic as that.
Yeah.
Or also something as kind of complex as there are artists we work with who have very similar practice to other artists. Right?
Yes.
So I may not take on that practice because I'm like, it's too much of the same thing and I won't be able to do both people justice.
Yeah.
So these are things you should know about a gallery before approaching a gallery.
I want to ask you, what excites you in an artwork? Like, because the viewers are watching henna, it's like people have requested for this. So in a way, you'll get better quality emails up in your inbox if you just
in my inbox.
If you just articulate this one, like what for henna is juicy for
process. It's all about process. Like, and I'm not saying just making process. I'm also saying practice. Like, why do you work? Why do you make what you make?
Yeah.
Because for me, that process and practice is the most important thing going forward, especially if I'm talking to artists who are like 2 years out of school, who have no track record, right? It's not easy, but it's easier to work with someone who's been working for 20 years because they'll continue working in a certain manner.
Yeah. That's
to work with someone who hasn't been working for more than 5 years, I need to know why you're doing what you're doing.
True.
And then kind of have a conversation with you.
Hopefully you get better emails now.
Yeah.
Is there something is